Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. So, there's kind of a big attack, it looks like right now, presumably from Hezbollah on Israel. And it's, I think, the largest attack that I've seen in a while. Let me pull this up. I mean, it's been going on for like, well, it's still going on. It's been going on for like maybe about 5 minutes now, which is pretty unusual. I've been keeping track of these attacks, and this is the biggest one that I've seen in quite a while. I'm gonna wait for this to clear. The way that I kind of like compare attacks is by this website Seva Adom, also known as SOFAR or Red Alert. And once this clears, it'll show like attacks within the last 24 hours. And then I just kind of count the number of lines of different locations that received alerts. Let's see if it'll clear in just a second here. But I don't know if this is like the start of the response from Hezbollah and Iran. But right now it's looking like a pretty good candidate. Here, this is gonna take a second for this to clear. Maybe I can refresh it. Will that do it? Yeah. Yeah, no, okay, let's go back to it. Yeah, this is a really sizable attack. Let's see. If we put these together, there's like three of them. So 10 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago, and 1 minute ago. If we put that all together as one attack, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 of all numbers, 17. So this is what I refer to as a 17 line attack. So I have not seen that since the toward like the beginning of the war. So that does seem significant to me. I thought I'd go ahead and do a live stream and just kind of watch this as it unfolds. I'm looking at X right now. The Sprinter account 7 minutes ago says Israeli aircraft spotted in the skies over Beirut. So I don't know if that's related to what's going on right now. It could be. I'm getting this warning again saying the stream's current bit rate is this. Lower the recommended. Let me know if the stream quality is okay. Am I coming through clear? Seven minutes ago, Israel radar. At least 10 rockets fired at northern Israel from Lebanon. Alerts still ongoing in area at multiple communities due to suspected drone infiltration. And if I go back to Zofar or Seva Adom, it does have all these classified as drone alerts. The last time that there was a rocket alert was 2 hours ago, both near Gaza and up by Lebanon. And then before that, 7 hours ago. And then before that, 13 hours ago. But those were small. This one that we're talking about right now is big. If you're just joining, it's like a 17 line attack. Let me show you what I mean. Using this website, I just count up the lines, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 17. If you take these three together that have basically happened simultaneously, it's basically, from what I can tell, all one big attack. And that's the largest number of lines that I've seen in a long time. This was a lot more common in the beginning of the war. I think like the biggest one I ever saw got into like the maybe the upper 30s or lower 40s. I can't remember. So I'm just going to give it a minute. Let me see what's going on. Here's something from Sprinter. Hezbollah carries out fresh attacks on Israeli positions. Yeah. Okay. Let me check for newer posts. See if there's any additional information. Israel radar just a minute ago says IDF intensifies GPS disruptions across Israel's borders with focus on Eilat in the south, Jordan border on the east, and Lebanon border in the north. Measures taken due to heightened risk of precision-guided and drone attacks by Iran Axis. Hezbollah may attack as early as this weekend, which looks like they're currently doing, but I don't know. U.S. and Israeli officials say, however, still no definite indication pointing to timing of Iran Axis attacks. Well, it's been a few minutes and there haven't been any more alerts. But I wonder if this is like the beginning of like the main thing, or if this is just completely separate. From Emmanuel Manny Fabian. Earlier this evening, a barrage of 10 rockets were fired from Lebanon on the Western Galilee. According to the IDF, all rockets struck open areas. Oh, this is talking about earlier, though. So this was posted 5 minutes ago, but he's talking about rockets. And the last time that there was a rocket alert. Oh, well, now, I don't think it showed this before, but so you have these 3 that just happened, and you see like the little airplane icon right here. That would be for like, essentially for drones. This first one has the icon for both drones and for rockets. But the one that Fabian is talking about, I think, is probably this one right here 2 hours ago. Most likely. Iran International English. Mohsen Razai, a member of Iran's Expediency Council and a former IRGC commander, says the Islamic Republic will deliver a quote-unquote calculated and powerful response to Israel, adding that many around the world are waiting for Iran to punish Israel for a quote-unquote strong slap. I'm surprised that it's taken them this long. I did a video recently where they said that if this ever happened again, meaning what happened back in April when Israel hit an Iranian embassy and I think it was the embassy annex and killed 2 generals, that if that, and that's what caused the first direct attack from Iran on Israel, that if that ever happened again, their response would be immediate and to the maximum level. At this point, I'm thinking that might be just bluster and saber rattling, because the response has not been immediate. As to whether it's going to be, maximum, I guess we'll see. Mardi Gras says, cannot hear you very well. Is that the same for everybody else? Let me know if you can hear me. Janet Manning, I've been looking forward to this. Today is the 10th, and it started on the 10th hour. 10 means completion. Yeah, well, it depends on what time zone you're in. Which is the time zone that would matter for that. I don't know. Janet Manning says, yes, you are coming through clear. Okay, so everybody's basically saying yes. Got 85 watching right now. Let me know if you can hear me okay. "24 seconds ago, Israel radar. Ongoing attack on northern Israel expands to areas further away from border. Interceptors target Hezbollah drones crossing into Israel. Air Force launches strikes on terror sites in southern Lebanon." And that's via Ynet, which is an Israeli news company. Times of Israel. Earlier this evening, a barrage of 10 rockets was fired from Lebanon at the Western Galilee. According to the IDF, all the rockets struck open areas, causing no injuries. The IDF adds that troops shelled the launch sites with artillery. Hezbollah took responsibility for the attack, claiming to have bombarded the northern community of Eilan with Katyusha rockets in response to recent IDF strikes in southern Lebanon. So I don't know, maybe this is not the attack. Maybe this is just kind of this would happen anyway, or it's aside from that. But it was a pretty sizable attack compared to what we've seen recently over the last few months. Sprinter says, according to American security officials, Iran is not responding to requests from mediators. We have not seen Iran so angry for a long time. Now, I've actually seen that posted before. I think by another account, like this very same anecdote right here. And I tried to look it up because I wanted to post it on my own X account, but I wasn't able to verify that. So I don't know where that's coming from. I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. It's really crazy to me that this much time has passed and they haven't done it. Because let me pull up the calendar here. All right, so Hania was killed on the 31st of July. I remember that because I was thinking about just what a crazy month July was. And to top it off, that was like the last thing to happen in July, the last big thing. And here we are, it's the 10th, so it's 10 days later and still nothing. And I was thinking, okay, so if they weren't going to go ahead and do it immediately, then maybe they would wait for a significant day. I had seen other people on X posting about the fact that they may wait until Tisha B'Av, which is right here. It starts at sundown on Monday the 12th. Tisha B'Av, I know I've said it a million times, but I don't know who's watching or if you already know. Tisha B'Av is the day that Jews, it's a fast day. It's a day commemorating the destruction of the first and second temples, as well as other tragedies in Jewish history, like the Holocaust and the Spanish Inquisition and stuff like that. So it's the saddest day on the Hebrew calendar. And there were some accounts that were saying that Iran may choose to attack on Tisha B'Av, which wouldn't be too surprising for me because this war started on the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles, You have the first 7 days, and then you have the like an eighth day, uh, which is essentially separate, but it's connected to the Feast of Tabernacles called Shemini Atzeret. Um, and that's a day of celebration. So they chose to start that war on that day of celebration after the Feast of Tabernacles, and then of course there was the Yom Kippur War in 1973, which is the holiest day on the Hebrew calendar. That's the day that the one day during the year that the high priest would go into the Holy of Holies, and it's the day that your name is supposed to be sealed in either the Book of Life or the Book of Death. That process starts with Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. It's also known as the Feast of Trumpets. And for that 10 days leading up to Yom Kippur, you're supposed to really make sure that your name is in the Book of Life, because by the time you get to Yom Kippur, your name is sealed for that year. So the Yom Kippur War started as a surprise attack on Yom Kippur. The October 7th attacks happened on that day following the Feast of Tabernacles, Shemini Atzeret. And so maybe this time they would favor either a day like today, because today is Shabbat. It's the Jewish Sabbath. But they may be waiting until Monday night. I don't know. It'd be really crazy if they did wait until Tisha B'Av, because let me pull this up. I'm probably going to pull up a couple things here. There's been interesting things going on recently when it comes to Tisha B'Av. Go down to signs, Jewish specific. And then let me pull this up. Look at President Nelson's bookends or bridges. So there's been this interesting thing going on during President Nelson's presidency, where you've had these like series of different events where you have like one that happens at the beginning of his presidency, and then another one that happened more recently. And sometimes there's kind of like a sandwiching thing where there's like something in the middle. So in 2019, on August 7th, foxes were seen at the Temple Mount, and that's a big deal for a lot of Jews, especially religious Jews, because they tie that with a prophecy in the Bible that, after the destruction of the temple, you would see foxes on the Temple Mount. And once that prophecy is complete, in the Bible it says jackals, but it's foxes. Once that's been completed, then that the redemption can come, and that the third temple can be constructed again, or can be constructed. So they saw foxes at the Temple Mount. It made the news. And it's unusual because it's a populated area and foxes avoid populated areas, but foxes were seen at the Temple Mount. And this was during the lead up to Tisha B'Av. So as a Jew, you're like, oh, this is like a sign of the third temple. And it's happening during this time when we're mourning the destruction of the first and second temples. So this seems like a sign. That's why it made the news. And then fast forward to 2023, on January 17th of all days, again, there were foxes seen on the Temple on the Temple Mount. And then I'm sorry. My gosh. Then on July 26th of last year, foxes were again seen on the Temple Mount, but this time it was actually on Tisha B'Av. So it's almost like this like climax of this like series of fox sightings, where they associate seeing foxes on the Temple Mount with the construction of the third temple. So that's been interesting. Let's see. And then I'm looking at my spreadsheet called Signs Jewish Specific. It's a timeline of signs that I feel are specifically for Jews. Exactly 4 weeks before Tisha B'Av, there was this year there was a bright daytime meteor that passed over the Statue of Liberty. So I thought that that was interesting. Let's see. Here's the one that we just talked about. On July 23rd, 2018, which was Tisha B'Av, there was a stone, like a large stone that fell from the Western Wall that narrowly missed a Jewish woman that was praying at the wall. So again, a day that they're mourning the destruction of the temples. On this day, there's this stone that falls from, the Western retaining wall of the Temple Mount. And so it's an unusual thing to happen on that day when they're thinking about the destruction of the temples. And it didn't hit this woman. Sorry. Gosh. So, yeah. It's been kind of crazy with these signs on Tisha B'Av. And so, if I ran attacks on Tisha B'Av, then we'll just have another thing for Tisha B'Av. Okay. Captain Blueberry Knight. Hi, Jared. I boosted my scripture study and lots of general conference talks because of you and Caitlin from Anticipating Christ's Return. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I'm glad that you are. I'm glad that our channels are making a difference and encouraging you to do that. It is important to do scripture study. I feel like I wish there was like some kind of statistic I could see for the entire church of how many people regularly study the scriptures and read the scriptures. Oh, and Caitlin's here. Caitlin from Anticipating Christ's Return. I'm hoping we can do my live stream on our drive home this afternoon. Oh, cool. I hope my kids will let us talk. Yeah, that can always be tricky. But that's great. Everybody make sure to tune into her live stream. Hopefully she'll do it later today. Penny Tidwell, hi Jared. Just finished watching your Mega Quake video and then saw you were live. Excited to hear your thoughts. Smiley face. Dustwave music, thumbs up. Weather Sky, what will happen? That's what we're all wondering. Caitlin responded to Captain Blueberry and said, "Aw, Captain Blueberry Knight, thank you for sharing that." Hearts all over her face. And then Captain Blueberry responded and said, "You're welcome. You guys are awesome. Still waiting for your live stream too." Hearts all over his face or her face. Dustwave music, I must agree. Both of your channels have blessed my life as well. Oh, thank you for sharing that, you guys. It's very encouraging to know that you're actually doing something good, because there definitely is a lot of hate and criticism that comes our way as well, but that's to be expected. Joseph Ford, got my mission call to Oklahoma City. You've helped me in my preparation over the last year so much. Oh, that is so awesome. I'm so excited for you. I occasionally go to Oklahoma City, usually to the temple, but for other things. And I think you're going to have a good mission. Borky Baby, man, just getting here. What the heck is happening? Well, I don't know. It seemed like things were starting to kick off. There was a significant attack just a little while ago, within the last half hour. The biggest one that I've seen for a while, but it seems that things have cooled down. So I wanted to get on just in case this was, the big one that we've all been waiting for. But I'm not so sure that that's the case at this point. I'm going to go back to X. Let me just see if there's anything else. from Sky News, Arabia. Israeli Broadcasting Authority. Israel is better prepared to repel the Iranian and Hezbollah attack than the previous attack launched by Tehran. Yeah, that's the other thing that's kind of weird to me is the more time that goes by, it seems like, well, and I know the more time Israel and the United States and anybody else preparing for this has time to prepare. Maybe that's how they want it to be. Maybe they want to be able to respond with force, but maybe they really are not interested in a full-blown war, and so it's like they're letting the other side get ready for their attack so that they can avoid full-blown war. According to Guy Elster, there are no reports of casualties or damage from this attack. The USS Wasp, which is a U.S. amphibious assault ship, which is almost like a mini aircraft carrier, has docked in Cyprus. Okay, well, I think you might be a little late to the game there. UKR report says red alerts across northern Israel 1 minute ago. I mean, that's okay. I guess better posted than not. It's just that this happened at this point. The most recent barrage was like 27 minutes ago. So I mean, put in the comments, what do you think? When do you think this attack is going to happen? When do you think this attack is going to happen? Let's do this. I guess I can put a poll in the chat. The question will be, do you think the attack will happen this weekend? Okay. Now, where is it though? I can't see the responses. Oh, there it is. Okay. So if you're watching this live, go ahead and answer that. What's your answer to that question? Do the poll. This is weird. I'm gonna have to figure this out because this is the first time I've done a poll in a poll in the chat, and it's not like showing me the results. It's kind of lame. Well, it's prompting me to do one thing. Let me see. Okay, well, yeah, it's not letting me see it. I'll have to like work that out some other time. Caitlin says we can all see the poll. Well, I'm glad that you guys can. I can't. I can't. But it doesn't look like there's anything else really going on. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So everybody watch out for Caitlin's live stream if she ends up doing that later, anticipating Christ's return. If anything big happens, I'll hop back on and try and cover it as it's happening live. But I guess the takeaway is something happened. I don't know exactly what, but it was a larger than usual attack in the north. And it looks like it was mostly drones. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend and a good Sabbath tomorrow. And I'll talk